Hi everyone, today's March 14th. The NCAA Championship's getting underway tomorrow in Indianapolis, but for right now, we are off deck. I'm David Reeder. We're going to preview some of the individual storylines for the NCAA's races to watch, individuals to watch. If you want to hear more about the team race, check out yesterday's episode where we broke down pretty much every team that might finish in the top 5 or top 10. Back with us today to break down the individual storylines, Dan D'Adonna. Dan, how are you today?
I'm doing great, David. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So I feel like the person we've got to start with, shockingly, is Katie Ledecky.
Wait, Katie who?
Katie Ledecky, Ledecky. Heard of her?
Yeah, just maybe.
So she broke American records midseason in the 500 and the mile, broke her 500 record again at the Pac-12s, and then broke the 400 IM record. So what can she do especially in the 500 and the mile? How low can she go?
What can't she do is really going to be the question. This is going to be the start of just some sort of unprecedented college career at nationals. It's going to be crazy. I mean, what can't she do? I don't know, 408. You know, like I'm just kidding. I have no idea how low she can go. It's that dominant, and she just with a full taper. I'm so anxious to see what she can do. I have never been this excited for distance events in my entire life, and I just can't wait to see what she goes. I'm going to be glued to that mile.
Yeah, that'll be definitely a fun one. The 500 at Pac-12s, everyone just kind of knew she was going to break that record. Even though she'd already taken it to 426, no one else has ever been under 430. Everyone kind of knew a 425 would happen. And then, as she sometimes does when she has a lot left, she kicked it into gear the last 50, and it was 425.1. So yeah, 424 looks like we're going to see that. The mile, under 15 minutes. And she, again, didn't swim that at Pac-12s. So it could be well under 15 minutes. My question for you, Dan, who won't she lap in the mile?
Just Leah Smith. I'm guessing she laps everybody else in the mile. And that is not a knock on anybody else in the final. We do have a pretty good group of milers. Mm-hmm. Michigan's got some studs in the distance events, and obviously even. Leah Smith is fantastic. But I can't see anybody. I mean, maybe Yarong B from Michigan might be the one that doesn't get lapped, but there's no shame in that, just based on how dominant she is, and just the way she's swimming, and with a good taper, she's just going to fly away from everybody.
Yeah. Megan Burns, another Stanford freshman, won Pac-12s in the mile when Ledecky didn't swim, and she's going like 15:50 something, which I think has her in the top heat for the mile. But again, we're talking more than a minute. It's pretty ridiculous, and I think we're all excited to see that. The big news that she's made since Pac-12s is, again, there was the interesting decision to not swim the mile, swim the 4 IM, the 2 free at Pac-12s. Now she's not swimming the 400 IM. The American record holder, second fastest swimmer ever in that event, won't swim it. She'll swim the 500, 200, and the mile. What do you make of the 200 free over the 400 IM?
I actually think it's a good move for Stanford because of Ella Easton. I mean, I think that's not. I mean, Ella Easton has a monster taper. She proved that last year. Mm-hmm. I think that is a spot where they could. That they can make that sacrifice and have her, in the 200 free. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to win the 200 free, but just having some top-level points there, I think it doesn't really matter for Stanford, in the fact that they, would probably push their points either way.
Yeah.
But I think this keeps Katie focused on the freestyle, and it will pay off huge when she, in the 800 free relay, on top of things, that she'll have that race perfectly locked in.
Yeah. It's crazy the depth they have, because honestly, I feel like Stanford was going to finish 1-2 in whatever race she was in, either the mile with or the 400 IM with Easton, or the 200 free with Simone Manuel. But
for sure,
they could still get 2 on the podium in the 400 IM with the way Ali Zeckley swam at Pac-12s. And in the 200 free, they've got Leah Neal. So really, I don't think there was a wrong decision. I think part of it was they had a plan from the beginning and they were sticking to that plan. But no, I can't say I was surprised either when she made that call. We'll see if maybe Easton has a shot at breaking Ledecky's American record at NCAA's, though. Wow, it was It was
Wouldn't
impressive
surprise
watching
me.
Ledecky pull away from her that last 100.
Yeah, it won't surprise me if Ella
Yeah.
Easton breaks the record right back.
No, it should be interesting. Since you mentioned the 200 free, let's go there next, because Manuel and Ledecky swim the race very differently. You've got a lot of people right behind them. Mallory Comerford's been swimming really well, 141.7. Siobhan Hockey, what can Leah Neal do? What can Leah Smith do? And there are probably more that I'm not even thinking of right now. But really, I think it comes down to Ledecky and Manuel. Manuel was over a second ahead at the 150 at Pac-12s. Ledecky, coming off the 200 free, almost caught her. How do you break this one down?
Yeah, I think that we're going to see something similar. I just think that this time Katie's going to catch her. And that's, again, no knock on Simone. I think that just the way they swim the race, it's neither one of their best events, and I think that Simone swims it like a sprinter, and Katie swims it like a distance.
Yep.
And it's just it's just kind of the way it goes. And I think that Katie does catch her in this one, but I don't see at this point anybody breaking up that 1-2 finish.
How about the record? Because you and I were both there in Greensboro a couple years ago, and Missy Franklin went 139.1. I didn't think that had a chance at being touched. That was one of the most impressive swims that I've ever seen in person, for sure. No question about it. But if Katie's going 140.5 minutes, and we're talking less than a half hour after that 400 IM, it's weird to think there's a chance at that.
Yeah, I would say there's a really good chance of that, and it's just crazy. I mean, I think what will get Katie to that record is Simone.
Yep, having someone to push her out there that first 50, that first 100. Since we're talking about Simone, her best event's the 50 and the 100 free. Abby Weitzel's best event's the 50 and the 100 free. Abby, the American record holder in the 50, Simone in the 100. But everyone's talking about Manuel because she's the Olympic gold medalist, Stanford, and all that other stuff. And Weitzel did not swim the 100 free at Pac-12s after some health issues. So do you think Weitzel can challenge Manuel? And again, is this another case of how low can they go?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And then that's another reason they're going to push each other to go that low and to go. It's going to be pretty fast. But I just in my gut, I just feel like with a little bit of extra rest that Weitzel had because of whatever health issues, I think that was very precautionary, and I think that she's going to be, in it to win it at NC's. I have this feeling that Abby's going to win the 50 and Simone's going to win the 100.
Okay, I can't say that's a shocking pick considering Abby has the American record in the 50, but it'll be interesting.
But she hasn't been swimming as well in season.
Yeah, agreed.
So
Agreed.
That's just my gut, and I love that they seem to bring the best out of each other, but each meet seems to be one of their meets. Trials was Abby's meet. The Olympics was Simone's meet.
Yep.
And I think this meet will be finally both of their meets, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's interesting. Simone kind of, between the 2015 NCAAs and really the Olympics, she didn't have a great meet. So you wonder if the monkey really, obviously the monkey's off her back, but what she can do now that the pressure's off, now that she knows that she can swim short course really, really well and long course really well. So that'll be interesting to watch. Sure. Lily King, 56.3 in the 100 breaststroke. I was at SECs when that happened, and everyone was talking about it. 200 breaststroke, how low could she go in the 100? But could she be challenged in the 200, where she was so good and dominant last year? But Kira Smith is back, who won the NCAA title the year before, redshirted to train for the Olympics, made the final in the 200 breaststroke. In the yards format, do you think that King is vulnerable in the 200 breast?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody's invulnerable. I mean, I think that's a big difference, especially having Kira back. But I still think King has, and she proved it at the Olympics, and not just with the way she swam, but the way she talked, that she has that bulldog mentality. She has that kind of personality where she will attack things, and I think that when it gets to the big meets, that is what sets her apart, and I think that that's going to continue this time, and I see her winning both breaststrokes.
Yeah. That's an interesting point. It'll definitely be a fun one, though, I think, watching the difference in strategies with her and Kira Smith. And the idea that someone could go a 55 in the 100 breaststroke is kind of scaring me right now.
Yeah.
I think the swim we've both been the most shocked by so far this season was at Pac-12s when Allie Howe broke the American record, a 15-year-old American record in the 100 backstroke. What did you think when you saw 49.69?
I couldn't believe it. My first thought was, wait, what event was that? Was that the 100 free? It was unbelievable because of when it happened. I'm not necessarily surprised that Allie swam that low. I am shocked that she swam that fast at Pac-12s. And I am shocked after watching Rachel Bootsma and Courtney Bartholomew inch closer to that record for the past 5 years. I am shocked that it came at the Pac-12s from somebody you wouldn't expect it to come from. And that, I mean, if you told me that was Bilquist or that was Baker or something, it would have even been less of a shock. And that's just, how Allie Howe has snuck up on everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think if anybody pulled that time at the Pac-12s, that's insane because that is not arrested. A fully rested time, and I just can't believe that the record's 15 years old from
Natalie Coughlin.
Yeah, from arguably, I mean, Ledecky's going to take this all away, but the most decorated swimmer in American history. It's not like it's a 15-year-old record from somebody that not very many people remember. This is Natalie Coughlin's record we're talking about in her bread and butter event, and for Allie to just beat that at the Pac-12s, I still am having a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Also, I think Coughlin, undisputed the greatest short course swimmer in history. You said you were shocked it happened at the Pac-12s after Courtney and Rachel were nipping and gnawing at it for years in 50.01, 50.03. I actually wasn't. I had a feeling it was going to fall when you least expected it. I don't know why, just because they seem to sneak up on it when you least expected it too. So I had a feeling it was going to kind of come at a random time. But that said, there was definitely some audible wow when I saw that happen. I was like, oh, you just didn't see it coming. You didn't think that was going to be a record swim. As impressive as it was, the way she looked the entire race. And even the look on Kathleen Baker's face. Kathleen Baker went 50.2, her best time. I think that's top 5 or 6 ever. A great swim. And she looked over, she was like, wow, nice job.
Right.
Olympic silver medalist.
Yeah, and that's what is going to make NCAA so awesome because those two are going to go at it again. You're going to have Bilquist thrown in there. You're going to have Claire Adams thrown in there. You're going to have Kira Toussaint thrown in there.
Janet
maybe.
Hu.
I mean, and then Olivia. I mean, this has got to be by far the most stacked that the 100 backstroke has ever been top to bottom in the final. We've had some really good 1, 2, 3, 4s, the past few years, but top to bottom, I mean, whoever misses out on the finals, there's going to be some people that finish 9, 10, 11, and 12 that should be should be finalists. That's how good this event is going to be.
Smoliga was in the B final last year. Going to have to work pretty hard just to make it into the final this year. But no, Howe was third last year in like 50.6 or 50.7. That might not make the A final. Definitely stacked.
Insane.
Let's talk about the other backstroke event, the 200, because the times also in that event getting faster. 4 or 5 women already under 150 this year. Only one broke it, Danielle Gallier, to win NCAAs last year. Baker with a very impressive 148.3. Janet Hu was really good at Pac-12s. Alexia Zevnik from NC State looked great at the ACC meet. I think Baker's got to be the favorite in this one. More of a 100 backstroke is her event long course, kind of adapts well to the 200 in short course. Could that American record, Liz Pelton's 147.8, that stood for 4 years. I think that's under fire.
I agree, and that's another loaded event too. Because I mean, you're talking, Lisa Bratton too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people that are in there that, that can push that top group along, or and that it's a stacked top group again. I mean, you're talking events that, that Clara Smitty and Gabby DeLoof are probably not going to make the final in, and they are really, really good swimmers from Michigan, and they are really good 200 backstrokers. But it's that stacked again, and it's interesting. A lot of times when the 100 and 200 are both stacked, it's all the same people that happen to swim both, and that happens in the men's meet a lot. This is different. Most of the swimmers are different, and I think that is what makes it so cool to see that there's such a dominant group of backstrokers, but that are separate from in the 100 and 200.
Yeah, Olivia Smoliga will not be swimming the 200 backstroke, and I'm pretty sure she would probably race a fit if she had to. Very much a sprinter, and will enjoy that 100 freestyle. So before we wrap things up, Dan, what are some under the radar storylines that you're going to be paying special attention to over this week?
Well, one of them for sure is, anytime you have a big meet like this, it's cool to see who comes home. And I think that it's kind of cool to see that Claire Adams from Texas is from Carmel, Indiana. That's only just a few minutes outside of Indianapolis. Amy Bilquist is from there. There's a few others, that are from there. I think that's always kind of fun to see what people can do when it's a homecoming meet for them, when they got those extra 20 fans cheering extra loud. That's always something that that really brings the best out of a lot of people. It's one of those kind of emotional swims that happens for people. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays a factor. Another thing is, how are the Olympians, the non-American Olympians, going to impact this meet? That is always, right after an Olympic year, that is always a big, influx. There's always a ton of different things. We haven't even talked about Noemi Thomas from Cal. I mean, she could have a huge play on what happens.
She could win the 100 fly, yeah.
Yeah, you got Chantel Van Langdon from Georgia. You got Kira Toussaint. You've got so many different people that college swim fans might forget that they're not from the United States, and that's going to play a huge factor. I mean, we got Olympians from everywhere. I mean, Shaban Hahi is an Olympian from Hong Kong. Farida Osman from Egypt. There's just so many different countries represented, which makes it so cool, and it makes the NCAA meet something very special when you have a college sport that still has maybe half the Olympians competing in it. You don't get that in any other sport but swimming, and I think that's going to be really cool to see. Yeah,
it's definitely cool seeing both the women's meet and the men's meet. Probably more Olympians than we would normally see, even more so on the men's side, but definitely plenty of great talent for the women, and it'll be fun. Dan, I get the impression you're excited to get to Indianapolis.
You bet.
So am I. Looking forward to seeing you there. It'll be a fun week. That's Dan D'Adonna joining us here on Off Deck to preview the Women's NCAA Championships. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you in Indy. I'm David Reeder. It's going to be a fun one.